Minutes past you from the studios of Adaba 8.9 FM. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of Conversation with Adaba FM. My name is Major Daniels and I'm being joined by the Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State, Mr. Segun Dipe. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much. It's a bright new day.
And congratulations on your election as the Public Secretary of the party.
Yes, dedicated to people like you.
Okay, let's start with after the primaries. There was fallout. How does the APC in Ekiti State and beyond Ekiti State, even at the national level, hope to get everybody on board for the June 18 governorship election in the state?
Let me start by assuring everybody the All Progressive Congress in Nigeria and in Ekiti State, even in Ondo State, is intact. We've got our internal mechanisms for resolving issues. You know that APC, literally speaking, we are a product of a crisis. So by and large, we are used to having dissensions within the party. Dissension is democratic. People will agree, people will disagree over issues, especially when it has to do with you contesting for a position and you have paid, you have mobilized people, and at the end of the day, look at what happened yesterday when Senegal and Egypt played. You'll be surprised that even Salah cried at the end of the game, knowing full well that one team will definitely win. So it's normal that there will be people who will feel disconcerted, and the fact is that you should not feel inconsolate. You should take it in its stride that you win some, you lose some. So there are internal mechanisms at resolving such issues.
Now, the APC conducted its primaries last month. Before that primaries at that day, 7 of the aspirants pulled out of the process. They addressed the press that they were not part of the process on the day of the primaries. And that crisis is still on in the party. We still listen to many of them granting interviews. Some have said they will be going to court. In fact, I remember listening to a particular interview by Bafem saying that Femi Bamishile, who is in the House of Representatives now, saying that they have already approached the court. Now, how is APC? You talk about mechanisms, but with what we hear from this aspirant, it does not seem as though the internal mechanism is working. How is APC managing this so that it does not affect the chances of the party come June?
You see, legally speaking, I'm a lawyer. Legally speaking, if you boycott or you remove yourself from an election, you cannot go ahead again to complain about the outcome of the election. You can't approbate and reprobate. It's either you are part of the election and you protest that the mark does not represent, or the score does not represent your true position, or you withdraw totally and you are not bothered about the outcome of the election. So they may have to choose one. If you are going to the court with the two, I'm afraid.
You think they were wrong to pull out of the process?
They are not wrong. Nobody is wrong at doing anything that his mind wishes to do. I won't say anybody.
But what do you think about the issues they raised? For instance, let me mention some of the issues. For instance, they said that people who are openly identified with a particular aspirant, I'm talking about Oyebanji now, were used in that primaries as returning officer. Tell me, you're the public secretary of the party. Is there any rule in the constitution of your party that says that those in government, if they are APC members, cannot serve as returning officers?
I've not seen such rule, and I wonder who else will be given a responsible task, if not a responsible party member. You see, I don't like taking on members of the party as a state executive member, and by and large, I tone down the words that I use when discussing this kind of.
So it's the same family.
Because yes, it's one family, and we are going to run this show together. We are going to be out there together canvassing for our candidates. But by and large, they should know that these are the same people they also campaigned to, canvassed to. We are expecting them to vote for them. So in other words, every party member, when it comes to a intra-party election, every party member devolves into being ordinary member. You become an ordinary member of the party. Even the governor, His Excellency Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, on that very day was an APC member. He wasn't a governor because he would go to the poll as a member. So any party member that you find reliable, you find responsible, and makes himself available for tasks. Don't forget that we have limited resources. We don't have money to throw at people, and we are not going to bring people from outside to come and do this thing. It's an internal program.
Well, let's talk morality now. Was there no way, if the party picked those who had openly identified with Oyebanji in some areas, was there no way that the party could have also picked those who had identified with the other aspirant, so that there would be a balance of power?
Dimeji, let me ask or say this rhetorically. Is it possible for somebody like me not to have identified with BAFEM, not to have identified with MOB, who is from my
local government,
not to have identified with Biodun Abayomi Obuyebanji, who was my SSG? So identify with people within a party, within a family. Identify with people.
What about campaigning for them?
Campaigning for them
within your party.
It is somebody who is undeserving of a gift that will see such gift as undeserved. Let me put it in Yoruba. If I had campaigned for them, what is the... I said we have all devolved into ordinary members of one family, and we are just campaigning within the house. If your children are in support of your wife, will they stop being your children? If they are in support of your wife for an issue, it's still one family. And this is a campaign, this is an election within the family. Are you saying they are not qualified to campaign and to vote